Um, Hi guys, welcome to Chat Queen's Life Unfiltered.
And today's topic of discussion, we thought we'd tackle kind of leading off of last episodes where we kind of introduced who we were, let you know about our lives. We thought we would tackle how we manage our work, social, exercise lives, like finding the balance between work and social, and like the pressures that we've experienced, how we manage it, and pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, if it was just like kicking off, we talk about what social media expects of us. I mean, I feel like everyone and anyone has seen the 5 to 9 TikToks. If you haven't seen it, you probably see it now because I've mentioned it.
It'll come up on
your phone will let you know. 5 to 9 TikToks, and I'm like, praise those guys and girls
100%.
who like know what they're doing, can wake up at 5 o'clock, can meditate, can go to the gym, can go for walks, all of that. But I know at 5 o'clock in the morning, unless I'm fasting, I'm asleep.
Yeah.
Like that's sleeping time. Like even then, like my work starts at 9 o'clock. If I'm working from home, I'm up at 8:59.
Yeah.
To roll over to open my laptop.
I think when I work from home, I literally wake up at 8:43 because I have to be online at 8:45.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. And I obviously watch a lot of these TikToks and a lot of these Instagram things, and even like my parents are those people who wake up and they exercise before work. So they're always like, kind of push that on you. And I'm like, I just can't, like, I cannot wake up a minute before I need to be awake.
I do find though that those kind of people are always like, but it's a mindset and it's a goal and it's mindset. And I'm like, fair, I get it. Because to be fair, if you reset your body clock, I do it for the month of fasting, you reset your body clock to the point where you are getting up at those times. But then there's such a stigmatism of then, okay, well, I'm doing the 5 to 9, but those people then will be in bed by 9 to be ready for the next day. Whereas then you've got the other added pressure of like the social pressure. Like especially, obviously it's different with every city, but London has like Thirsty Thursdays or so many like work social events that you feel like if I'm not going to these and I'm not currently out of the house in London, I'm doing something wrong. So not only do you have the pressure of be a 5 to 9er, but it's like, okay, but be also like a 5 to 10er. I don't know, like to like stay out in the evenings and not just be like sat at home, even though that is kind of what, I mean, I know school and stuff, you had like after school clubs, but realistically, that was like an hour. Like you did school and did 4. Maybe we're staying until like 5:30, which is basically what office hours are.
Yeah.
And then it's like the expectation. Then it's like, oh, what do you mean you're just going home?
Yeah.
And you're gonna cook yourself dinner, and that's okay for 1 or 2 occasions. But then there should be times where you're busy and you're out, and it's like there's so much pressure to be basically awake for multiple hours of the day and doing something in every single one of those seconds.
And then it's also like, the pressure of not only do you have to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to the gym, but then you obviously have to like be presentable, go to work, and then you have to join in with the after work drinks. But then you also have to go home and cook yourself a good meal. Like you can't just go home and have shit for it.
But see, that's the thing. Meal prep. You should be meal prepping. So if you're not meal prepping, you're doing something wrong in your life.
And also, like, you should be cleaning your house. You should be doing all your laundry. And it's like, these things will add up, and everyone's kind of being like,
and if your house isn't spotless, you're a mess. We're all a mess. Why are you not adding cleaning to that schedule of everything?
Yeah, because then like that's also the whole another side of TikTok that you're on, and in some ways I feel like social media does make it a whole lot worse because like I'm like watching this person's like ASMR cleaning TikTok, and I'm like, fucking hell, my house is nothing like this. I'm not this clean. No matter how hard I try. But like obviously we don't know anything else in their life beside that one video. But it's like, you kind of get the best parts of everyone's exercise routine, of everyone's work routine, of everyone's eating routine, socializing routine, cleaning routine, and you're only seeing these best parts, and you are thinking like, then it like pressurizes you into having all those best parts in your one 24-hour day, but also sleep 8 hours.
That's
course.
True. But
you
also
can't sleep less than 8 hours.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I want someone to prove to me that they're 5 to 9ers.
Yeah.
You can. How easy is to switch back a clock? I could switch back a clock and tell you I'm a 5 to 9er and be up at 9 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know, but like, there needs to be some proof there because you can't. And if you are doing everything, genuinely props to you. You must be on shit tons of caffeine. I don't know. Like you must be taking something.
You must just be like a ridiculously driven, ambitious person to like push yourself to be doing that.
But I just think you're going to reach that stage where you give out so much sooner.
Yeah.
Like if you're constantly pushing yourself, and you probably don't think you are because now it's a routine, but like it's a lot to put on your body to be doing this every single day. And I don't know if there's like, obviously gym days have rest days, but maybe there's like a rest day for the 5 to 9 and they're like, oh, on the weekend I'll wake up at 6 instead. I don't know. Yeah. But I'm kind of like, it kind of gives a lot of unrealistic expectations for the rest of us then to kind of be like, well, why aren't you like that? Like, if I can do it, so can you. And it's fair enough. Yeah, if you can do it, I probably should be able to do it too. but I don't want to. And that's also okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people have reasons why they can't. I just genuinely don't want to. No.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm obviously capable of waking up in the morning, but like the idea of going to bed and then waking up like 5 hours later. It's also then like, how are you not exhausted for your workday? Because I get hit 3 p.m. and I'm fucking tired.
Those 3 p.m. slumps hit hard.
3 p.m. slump hits me and I'm like, I need a nap.
Yeah.
Like, I have to push through every single day of my life at 3 p.m. But it's so hard.
We see the 5 to 9ers, but we don't see the rest of their day. I'll be honest with you, that's all I see on TikTok. I see their 5 to 9, then they go to work. No, we don't know what happens. Yeah. So I'm like, well, how about you tell me a whole day in your life as a 5 to 9er? Yeah. And then if at any point you take a nap, be honest about it. Be real about it. Be like, you know what? I was up at 5 o'clock this morning. Now it's reached a certain time, and my body probably wants to crash because it's not used to 5 to 9 rhythm. I think we kind of see people, they only tend to TikTok their journeys or like post about their journeys when they're already set in the routine. Yeah, that's and I think, true. Especially what this podcast is based on, like, life should be unfiltered. Like, it should just be like, look, I've not done. If one of us decided to do the 5 to 9, I feel like we talk about it every week. As from a perspective of, I've literally just started, and I'm not like you. It'd be like the deep bags. It'd be you would tell. I'd be like really cranky. I'd be like, hey, just don't talk to me right now. I just can't. I don't know why we're filming this. But like, you would see it because I would want to tell you my journey. My journey probably isn't going to be tomorrow. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I'm like, everything's great. No, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to really impact me. I mean, that being said, we probably will carry on doing this. I will be fasting soon, so maybe that will be me.
Yeah, maybe after that you will be a 5 to 9 girly.
Maybe, probably not. It never has been in the past.
Maybe if you just do it for the month. After the month, you'll be like, wow, I can wake up so easily now. I did this with half the amount of food I was supposed to have.
I had no water and barely any food.
And I still woke up at 5 a.m. So who knows? Maybe it'll make you a superhuman.
It could be, but I'll be honest with you. That first week or two that we filmed with this podcast, and you guys will see on the screens, I'm not going to be at my best. And that is okay though, because that is what Life Unfiltered means. It's like, show us what it actually means to be a 5 to 9er. Don't just be like, oh, I'm a 5 to 9er and this is my journey, because it's like, well, you're already there. Yeah, I don't know what it takes. Started. Yeah, I don't know what hardships you went through, and then to me, all I'm seeing is on social media, you're like winning at life because you wake up and you feel like so at ease to meditate and make breakfast and all this stuff. Yeah. Whereas like, well, what was did you just do that instantly, or did you wake up at 5, snooze your alarm for like 20 minutes, and then actually get up at 6, and then you wake back up to 5? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. We only see like the finished product of it, and like I have recently said, though I have not yet committed to it, so this can be my way of publicly committing.
We as a podcast will force Kate to commit to this. Whatever
you guys can all hold me accountable. We can check in once a month and if I'm doing it or not. But I'm wanting to get to the point where like when I wake up for work isn't a shock for my body. You know?
Okay.
Like I want to get to the point where, so I set my alarm at like 6:30 in the morning to wake up for work, and every single day I snooze until 8 a.m. every single day without fail. So I do want to get to the point where it's like, when that 7:30 alarm goes off, I'm actually like already awake, you know, because sometimes your body gets to like,
your body naturally wakes you up because it knows you're always awake at this time.
It's like during school, like you kind of woke up naturally at that time. Yeah. But the problem is that because it's like on the weekdays, I do that. When I go into the office, I wake up at 7:30. But then when I'm working from home, I wake up at 8:45. And then when on weekends, I wake up at like 10. So I don't have like a set base for my body to get used to, because I'm always waking up at a different time. Yes. So I have said, again, you can hold me accountable. I don't know how successful I will be, but I do want to start like having that alarm go off every day and just getting up. Okay. And just being like, I know you're so fucking tired and you know you don't want to get up, but just get up. And it is easier now with the obviously it's lighter earlier. Yeah. So that is a big help, because I can then just be like, okay, it's lighter, let me just get up. Whereas middle of winter is so hard because it's like pitch
middle of winter, you wake up, look outside, be like, it's not wake time yet. You click your alarm, you're like, oh no, but it is. Yeah. I actually do have to get up. Yeah.
So I do think that is, so I do like aspire to be, but that's like my goal at the moment, is just to be able to wake up for work without getting like shaken awake from sleep, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so then that's not your body shocked into waking up. You're more just like, okay, I guess I've had my full night's sleep. Do you know when like you have those rests where you like you wake up naturally and you don't feel bad anymore?
And you're like, wow, I'm so rested. I don't even remember what that's like. And that's happened to me in a very long time.
No, it's like, to be fair, like even with like weekends and stuff, like when you have plans, something, it's like turn your alarm on. You're like, oh, am I doing that? Am I doing that?
I'm like, no.
But no. So I think for us, we're wanting to like just debunk the fact that social media is kind of, I don't know, not ruining people's lives. I feel like
that's a bit of an extreme.
It's a bit dramatic here, but like ruining my life. No, just like kind of giving you a very distorted image of what you think corporate life and like what working life is going to be for you. Because I think
for the average person, at least.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. It could. I personally, I don't have any friends who do it. I don't like the 5 to 9ers. But
I have some friends who are very dedicated people.
Okay.
I don't know if they wake up at 5 a.m. I haven't really asked that much about their life routine.
Yeah.
But like, I have a good friend who is a very dedicated person, and they are very get going. Yeah. Like they don't like rest. They don't like naps. They don't like lying down. And so we are very different from that point of view, because I'm like, I love my bed. I love having a nap. I love just, just like lounging is great for me. Whereas this person, they very much like, right, wake up, get going, like they're very like regimented. And I've always like admired that about them. I'm like, your work ethic's great, because they are so good like at uni with assignments and stuff. They'd always work so hard. They'd put in hours, they got the results. Like I have no doubt in my mind they're going to be so successful because of how regimented they are, and they probably do have a 5 to 9.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't even surprise me, but I'm just like, that could never be me. Like we are such different people on that vibe. But the average person, that's probably not going to happen.
Which we're kind of like, but it's okay if you are a 5 to 9er. Like honestly, congrats to you. This isn't like, we're not saying this to shit on the 5 to 9ers. We're not saying this to shit on the people who like are really active and really like on it with their schedules and stuff. We're praising you because we're like, we couldn't be those people. At least like all of them combined. I feel like everyone's got their own little niche thing. If you're a 5 to 9, you don't, maybe, I don't know, you don't tend to be someone who has like a later evening social life. Really socialize, or like maybe you do, and then you prioritize like certain friends over like certain things or certain work events, and like so this isn't, I feel like we just like bashed on all the social media a lot. We've like done everything. Don't come for us for hate. We don't mean it in that way. We
to be honest, if anything, it's like a little bit of jealousy of like
it's full on jealousy. This is like, we're jealous of you, and you can accept that, and that's okay.
Like how do you have that in you? I just like I don't know if it's like I don't even know how to phrase this, the mental stability of me, or lack thereof, which prevents me from getting up. Like, I don't know if that's like, maybe all these people are just like so mentally stable.
Potentially.
And I'm like, maybe that's why I don't have it in me. But yeah, I do wish that I was someone who was just like, what is it, like early bird gets the worm. Like I'm just not that person in any sense of the matter at all. And I'm like, I'm watching these videos and I'm seeing them like waking up for like their gym at 5, and then they have like they shower and they get ready with me videos, and they make like breakfast and smoothies, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like you've done so much with your day before I've even woken up, and like you're so prepared, which means like they don't run late, they don't like get hungry or whatever. Like I'm literally always rushing out the door to work because I don't wake up early enough, I'm like, it would be nice to not do that. It just seems like
but I mean, Kate, I feel like it's best if we then just talk about our own social life balances again, because we have just shit on everyone who's got like better life balances than us. We'll tell you about ours.
Obviously, you guys can shit on us then.
Don't do that. You can pass judgments. It is what it is. Like, but we're just gonna be like, the whole point of this unfiltered. We're just gonna be honest with you about it. Like, and it is what it is. But I'll be honest, we're gonna start with Kate because she has a better one than I do. So, Kate, take it away.
Thank you. I will admit that I've also, so part of my like New Year's resolution goals, which I always find so cringy to say, because
you knob.
like that just sounds so stupid, but anyway, it is true. Part of my like New Year's resolution was to actually prioritize friendships more and prioritize socializing more, because I did kind of feel towards the end of last year that I was kind of like in a bit of a rut where like I didn't want to go out, like I wouldn't go out of my way to see someone, or like minor inconvenience I'd be like, oh well, fuck it, can't go, get back into bed.
Oh, the tubes are slightly delayed.
Oh dear, I'm not gonna be able to make it, which obviously like that isn't good, because I do want to see that. And like whenever that happened, I was always like, oh, like whenever I did push myself to still go, I actually always had like a wonderful time, and I was always so glad I went. And if of the times that I chose not to go, I'd always feel so guilty about it. And then like I'd be like lying in bed for like weeks after. I'd be like, oh my God, remember that time I didn't go see them? Like I'm such a bad friend. Like I should have just gone. So in order to avoid all of that, part of my New Year's resolution is to just make the effort where I can. Like, obviously, I do think it is very important to take time to yourself as well. But, you know, like, if someone wants to meet up after work, like, just meet up after work. It doesn't have to be a long thing or a late thing or a drunk thing. It could be, like, literally having a cup of coffee or, like, a mocktail or whatever. But just having those little catch-ups with people because, you know, I think it's so easy to disconnect. So that is something that I'm personally working on, is trying to meet up with people more and, like, do things with people more, which previously I might say no to because, like, it's a work night, can't go out. But, like, you still can. Like, I finish work at 5 p.m. Like, I've got a lot of hours left in my day to still do stuff. So that is something I've been working on. I've also been trying very hard to get better at my gym routine because I don't really have one. So I guess that's, like, you know, starting my gym routine is something I've also been working on. I've started, like, signing up to classes, which forces me to go. And then that way, like, I'll get back from work, get unchanged, get to my class. And I go to, like, 2 or 3 a week. Yeah. Was normally what I was doing, which is quite good, I think. And then, the weekends, I don't really gym on the weekends. So then I'd try to do stuff with, like, the house on the weekend. So it was kind of like, you know, just putting in that little bit of effort in myself by going to the gym and trying very hard to be, like, strict with it, to be like, and that was the whole signing up really helps me with that, being like, no, like, you need to have this balance because exercise, no matter what form it's in, is really beneficial, whether it's like walking or weightlifting or cardio, whatever it is, like, it is really beneficial. And I know that in the long run, after I do it, I'll feel so good. So, like, I was, like, quite strict to be like, once you sign up, you will go. And so I was going, like, 2-3 times a week, trying to make the effort to, like, see some friends. Like, a couple of weeks ago, like, I went down to Brighton to see some friends, and it turned out to be such a nightmare of a day to get there because there was so many train strikes and whatever. But I was like, no, like, this is literally my New Year's resolution, that even when it's tough, you still do it. So, like, I do think I have been better in that sense, that I am a bit more well-rounded now in, like, seeing people in working out. And obviously I have to work 9 to 5 every day, unfortunately.
And unfortunately, like, also starting that part of it, like, that's my, like, normal work life.
That's there too, I guess, most of the time. But then also, like, you know, obviously with work comes a lot of social stuff as well, like, and I try also agree to those things. Like, I do try very hard to go to any work social event, because I also think it's important to have a good relationship with the people you work with. So, you know, like, my company does, like, drinks and food every Thursday, so I try stay for, no matter how tired I am on the day, at least, like, half an hour of that to chat in, like, a non-work scene.
Non-work environment, I guess.
That's the word. Like, try to chat to them in a non-work environment. And then, in order to give myself a little bit more time to be more sociable and gym more, I've also started meal prepping. So that is something that I've been doing. On a Sunday, I'll take, like, 3 hours out of the day and I'll cook all my meals for pretty much the next week. Like, they do kind of last me up until Saturday-ish. And in that way, during the week, I don't have to spend that hour, whatever it is, cooking. So I do think that's really freed up my time. And, like, I think the fact that I meal prep will probably surprise anyone who knows me, because everyone who does know me knows
all the comment of Kate's friends is being like, this is not real.
Like, my family, my friends, they'll be like, that's such a fucking lie. Like, call it out on her shit right now.
We promise you right now, I've watched this girl meal prep. She definitely does it. Like, hands up. Like, she's very good.
And that I think has really helped me balance everything. Because it just means, like, I know that when I get home, all I gotta do is whack something in the microwave and it'll be done in, like, 2 minutes rather than an hour. And it's given me so much more time to then do other parts, like stay a little bit later at work, go to the pub for a drink, go for a walk, or go to the gym or whatever, because I'm not now, like, trying to fit in my eating schedule as well as my socializing and exercising. So I don't really know how well I explained that, but that's kind of how I balance stuff.
I feel like you did. I feel like you've got very good, like, work life, like, balancing with, like, your social life, balancing with, like, gym life. Like, you kind of do have really good aspects of each one. You're not overdoing it in any way that I'd be like, how you're not, like, breaking down right now. Like, you're doing it in a way that's best for you. Like, you're deciding each step. Like, even it's like, okay, I'll just gym 3 times a week, and that's what works for you. If you want to gym on weekends, you could, but, like, you're not, like, setting regimented things. So you're like, if I don't do this, that like
and I also am like like if I can't go to the gym because of a work thing, I'm not then gonna like wake up early and go to the gym. Like it's like it's okay to miss some stuff, and like whilst I am trying to put in the effort to like be more sociable and be more active, I'm also kind of doing it in a way that I'm not putting myself on the line. So like if I feel like this is my first Sunday that I don't have anything planned in like 3 months, for 3 months, I'm not going to then be like, okay, well, let's jam pack the schedule. I'll be like, okay, well, let's take a self-care day. Like I think that's also important, which kind of links back into what we were talking about earlier with the whole pressure on stuff, is it's like sometimes you forget that in order to achieve all these balanced things in your life, you do need to have a day when you just chill. So I do try to do that. Or like on like Saturdays, I'll go for like half the day, go out, and in the morning just lie in bed or whatever. So like, try finding also to make sure that you yourself are just having a breather, having time off.
It is really important. I think everyone like forgets that as much as you want to jam pack a lot of things in, a lot of things, especially like with work and then social events, it does eat at your social battery. And then suddenly you're like, I'm at a stage now where I don't want to talk to anybody. I do just want to hold myself up in a room and not say anything to anybody. But that's also natural and it's okay.
And like for me personally, obviously this probably TMI, but that's also the point of the podcast. Specifically around my period, I get very overly sensitive about a lot of stuff, and I get very like overstimulated very easily as well. And I find that during like that time, socializing is actually really hard. And because I know that like the smallest thing is going to trigger me, it's like restraining myself so much, obviously, because I know like it's my hormones, and I know that's why I'm getting irrationally angry. So like that also then obviously plays a balance where I am more lenient on myself during that time of the month, because I'm not going to force myself to go out and socialize when I'm feeling like absolute shit, because then I'm probably going to be like mean to you, which obviously you don't deserve, and then I'll feel worse, and it just like spirals.
Also, if we're syncing up, I'll just cry then. Like, you're mean to me, Kate. I'm
and then I'll cry because you'll be crying, so then it'll just be like a disaster. So like from that point of view, you just have to try, or at least I've been trying to also balance that, because if you really aren't feeling it, don't do it. Like you don't have to do what the internet's telling you. You don't have to do what TikToks are doing. Like, if you don't want to go to the gym that day, don't go to the gym that day. Lie in bed, have a lie-in. Like listen to your bodies, all that kind of stuff.
Your body knows you best. Listen to what you're saying from the inside.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, mine is not as exciting nor as like detailed as Kate's, I guess. I mean, the first 3 months when I did the first move to London, my worry was more, I've got to jam pack my weekends. I can't have a weekend where I'm not free, because I'm like, I will spiral that I've just made this massive move. And I feel like it became a system with me. Like I moved to uni, I spiraled. I like graduated, I spiraled. I was like, got my first job, spiral. Like I feel like any big change in my life, spiraling. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to spiral in this new city with I have no, like, when I say no friends, obviously house now, we're all very good friends. Kate's one of my best friends. I'm like, I'm less stressed about it now, but when I first moved, I didn't really know anyone in London. So then I had the worry of like, oh God, like I can't spiral because one of the house thinks I'm like just this weird depressive person who never leaves a room. So I was like, I've got to keep myself as busy as I can. So my weekends were always like jam packed. I had friends come down to visit. My parents used to come down a fair bit, and like that was cool. I mean, I didn't really invite them. They just were like happy that a child was in London. Not that they weren't welcome. I just feel like I'm foot and mouth with my thing of my parents. But like either way, Mum and Dad, I love you lots. If you're listening, love you to bits. I love the fact that you came down.
I love the fact that you came down.
Yeah,
it was great.
Come down more. It's great. But either way, so I was always like busy with something, and if not anything to do with like my other friends, or like I'd got to Manchester, a lot of my friends moved up to Manchester from uni. And otherwise it would be wholesome Sundays with the house, or let's go do something on the Saturday and let's go for a walk or something. So I was constantly
third wheeling Alex and I.
Oh yeah, no, I'm basically their child, except I'm older, so it doesn't make any sense at all. But
we love it. Alex and I love it. We go out for dinner together. Take Isla.
I know, just take me
Alex
out.
will literally be like, "What's Isla doing? Does she want to come?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Ask Isla."
And the answer is always yes. Yes, I did nothing, and yes, I would like to go. But so I basically kept myself busy for like what is like the first 3 months of living here. I don't think I had a single free weekend, and then I went home for Christmas, and it was really lovely. And then when I came back, I had kind of like the whole year ahead of me, where I was like, I don't know what I'm doing now. So like my working life, I was just going to work, and because I don't drink, I felt a bit, was it trepidation? I guess is the right word to use, like when you're a bit like nervous.
I couldn't tell you what that means.
Okay,
well, it sounds fancy.
I'm gonna go with trepidation. I was feeling trepidation about going to say like the work after drinks events. When I first joined, it was like, oh, we do pizza and prosecco. Everyone's gonna hate me for this. I'm not the biggest fan of pizza.
Me neither.
This is
why we're friends.
We're just gonna get the hate together. It's okay.
Yeah.
But then the prosecco, and I know that they offer like non-alcoholic alternatives, but I just felt a bit uncomfortable being in an environment with people I didn't really know very well.
I do think work specifically that there is quite a big, it's not like a drinking culture. That's not really the right way to phrase it, but it is a bit like if you want to socialize,
have a drink,
come to the pub.
It's like Thirsty Thursdays, isn't it? Thirsty Thursdays in London is such a big thing. That's like Thursdays are the day we all go for a drink. I can see
how not drinking would make you like reserved about going, because also like I know in times when I haven't drunk on a night out or whatever, in a scenario where drinking is involved, and then everyone else gets like a little bit drunk and you're sober and you're like, this is not really that fun for me anymore because we're on different wavelengths now. So I can see like, I probably would be in the same position where I'd be a bit like, do I want to go to that?
I think I'm just trying to build up the nerve though, because so I'm only in office twice a week, sometimes once a week. It really just depends on, say, circumstances of the week. But because I wasn't going in as often, I've not very made solid friendships. Like I feel like I have now. But at the time, I was like, oh, it's like, are we friends? Are we not friends? Do I invite her to go to like the lunch markets with me? 'Cause like, are we good? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I was like, if I go to these events and I've gone out, I've gone like, I've visited uni and like, I've been around people when they were drunk. And as long as there were people I was comfortable with, I had no care in the world. Like I wasn't stressed about anything. I didn't feel very self-conscious. I was like, oh, it's fine, I'm with my friends. Whereas like when I'm in an environment where I feel like I don't really know the people, not drinking really does like make me anxious. Not that I ever would drink, but I'm like, it's just kind of give me an anxious feeling of like, oh, I don't know if we're friends or not. And it's very, I don't know, it makes me feel a bit awkward. So I kind of avoided like work drinks for a while. I mean, I did our Christmas party. That was really fun, really lovely, but I did bounce a bit earlier.
Yeah.
Which is totally fair. At some point, drunk karaoke was going on. I sang a few songs. It was good. And then I was like, I've reached my limit now. Like, I think it was Complicated by Avril Lavigne came on. I was like, I think
that's a great song though.
It's a good song.
Did you sing it?
No. I was listening and I was like, I think this is time to go, because it was a bit of a competition going on between like, no, change this song, no, change this song. And I was like, I think before the arguing starts, I'm
gonna head out.
So with me balancing work life and social life, to me Monday to Friday was work life, and then the weekends were social, and the social wasn't really with like anyone really outside the house, I suppose. Or like if the social was in London, it was either with like you guys, I was hanging out with my parents, or if I was going up north to Manchester to visit my other friends, or like some friends were coming down to visit me. So I guess for me, weekends were my social life. Then with the new year, and again, I'm the cringe of saying this, but like new year, new me, I was like, I'm going to join a gym.
It is a thing.
Yeah, I'm going to join a gym. And for how you said your parents wouldn't believe about your meal prep, no one believed me when I said I joined a gym. The shock
you were dedicated though.
Yeah, the shock and horror that everyone got when I first said I was joining a gym, they were like, no, you're not. And I was like, I know. I've for years have been like, I will never step foot in a gym. It is not for me. And I was like, but you know what? I need some routine. I need to get out of the house on my work from home days. So I joined the gym, and I was really good in January. I did like I tried to do like 3 times a week. So when my work from home days, every lunchtime, I'd be like, you know what? Let's go for a quick 30-minute session. We're going to treadmill a little bit, do some weights. And I kept it very like chill. I don't follow like, I guess, a strict regimented routine. Which I know gym lads might come for me for that, but I'm like, I'm just gonna go and do.
You just have to figure out what works for you, I guess.
That is true. I kind of went too hard, and then like had to like, and then fuck my knee, but I had to dial it back a little bit. But then I got into a good routine of it.
Yeah.
And then so that was fun for me to have like not only like the work balance of like, okay, I'm working Monday to Friday, and that's good. I feel like the social aspect came in because obviously I do work a lot of work from home days. So then you also work twice, so like Monday, Friday. So we'd always see each other, and then we'd be quite social just in the day anyway. And days where if I was by myself or in the office, then I'd come home and we're all quite social in the kitchen. So I was never that fussed about like the outside of work balance. Because I was like, but the outside of work is coming home to like my friends and hanging out with you lot in the kitchen. Or on some days when, especially when you've gone to work, you're like, honestly, if I talk to another human being, it's gonna be to scream. So I'm gonna make my food and I'm gonna go. But I tend, on a weird thing, I feel like we've all cycled those days together though, because there will be days when all of us just don't see each other.
For me, that is my period day. That's what I mean. It's like that's when I'm like, today was so hard. Just being like kind, not even kind, being civil to people all day was so hard today of all days. So then I do come home and I'm just like in my room, like eat dinner in my room or whatever. Because I'm just like, as much as like. It's not like draining to talk to you guys. It's still just like, I just need a night to myself. Like I just need to not have another human in my space now.
honestly, 99% of the time we're obviously very respectful of, except this 1% of the time where I drag Kate to the Notting Hill market and then was like, now let's film our podcast.
Yeah.
So apart from today, we're quite good. We're quite in sync with like when to know when to give people space and like let them chill. But then, so yeah, and then recently, and I'll be honest with it, like I have dropped off going to the gym. I got like the flu for a week, and then I think having that the week afterwards and like kind of recovery week where you kind of are like, I've not slept for like a week, so I need to like recover that. And then, oh god, half of February's gone by and I've not gone back to the gym. We're in our 3rd week now, and I'll be honest with you, the weather really put me off. And I know it's the small things, but I'm sorry, the 9-minute walk in the freezing cold with like piss pouring rain at 21 miles an hour, I was like, I'm not getting out of the house for anything, but if I desperately need a snack. Like at that point, if I literally cannot go another second without a sweet treat, I will force myself. But like for the gym, I'm not got the dedication. But hopefully with the weather picking up, I get back into the routine again. And I mean, everyone's got different goals. I don't love the gym. I've been going for a month and a bit. I don't love it. And I feel like everyone's like, you have to find your routine. You got to find what you don't love it. I can't tell you how much I really don't love it. I'm fully doing it because I'm meant to be going on holiday for my birthday. And I'm like, I just want to slay.
Want to look good
I just want to slay while I'm abroad. Like that's the dream. Maybe after June, hopefully. But
that's a fair enough reason.
Yeah, hopefully, I don't know. If I'm doing it for 6 months, then
maybe then you will love it.
Maybe then it's such a routine that I won't even think about not loving it. It's like when I go to work. I mean, not that I'd hate what I do, but I'm still like, but it's still work. The gym, I think, will still be gym, but at least I'll just go do it. Like, it's now my routine now.
Yeah.
But that's what I think is like it's important to set yourself. Like everything you do sets your own routine.
Yeah.
So if you're setting your own routine and you're figuring out what it is like you want to do, you just have to slowly incorporate it. I mean, us with this podcast, like we're trying to incorporate this now into our routine of like once a week. We do want to film this. We want to get it out to you guys on time, and so that's what we're now trying to incorporate something else to our routine, and then it will become such a thing that we're like, oh, was there ever a time we didn't film this?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. And like even that in itself, like as we've started, it's been so hard to find an hour a day to film.
Yes.
You know, like
well, especially we do live with like 2 other people, and then like Alex might be around, or like we might have like other guests around, in which case we're like, and we can't really like kick them out the communal space, and they're more than happy to be a guest, but at the moment we're not taking guests at the moment, I think.
Not quite. But yeah, like it is just like, you know, you think, oh, an hour a week, that's nothing, but like it's been hard to find that hour because like, you know, we have been busy with work, with like social stuff, like our one flatmate's moving, so like her boyfriend's come down for the weekend, so like chatting to them, and it's like things like just happen and it's out of your control sometimes, and you're just like, we don't have an hour to do this. But so it's also about like making time, I think, because like even today, for example, we got back and we were like, should we take a nap?
Yeah, we're like, you know what, we just need like alone space from each other. Let's need an hour. Let's recuperate a little bit. But then our flatmate's gonna come back soon, and we're like, oh great, well, then we're not going to the kitchen.
No time to recuperate.
And then we just won't film it. So this is us. We've just been out to Notting Hill Market, and we spent the whole day out. So hope the energy's still as great as it was last week.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is all about finding time and finding what works for you. And like, you know, I think kind of similar to vibe to what we were saying last week about how it's okay also if things don't work for you. Like, I mean, obviously, you know, like exercise is important, whatever. But if you're someone who hates it, don't do it. Like no one's like, sometimes it feels like everyone's thinking you've got to be a gym girl, but like you don't. At the end of the day, you don't have to be. You don't have to drink your greens. You don't like.
No, honestly,
live your life.
Come summertime, that gym membership is getting cancelled. Expect me taking a walk with a book. Like I'm like that's my exercise. For me, I joined the gym. Yes, because I want to slay in Athens. That's probably the main goal. I don't care. I don't know if that's a bad thing to say. I don't know, I want to slay. But for the rest of like me joining the gym, it was just so I could move. On my 3 work from home days, I'm literally couch potato in my bed. Probably doesn't change your pajamas out till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon for lunch. I'm like, I don't move, and like I don't mind it as much. Obviously, on days where if I've been very active, like sometimes I do want like a lunch where I can just like take it easy. But when I compare how much walking I do, so when I go to the office, and I love my walks, even if it's raining and stuff, like I do love being outside, because only once you're out there, you're like, fresh air, like I just need to like stretch my legs a little bit. But if I'm not stretching anything, then I'm kind of like, I really do feel in a rut. Yeah,
definitely. I do find like for on my work from home days, this is also so embarrassing, and I don't like admitting this, but I will check my steps, and I'll have moved 200 steps a day.
Oh yeah,
do you like realize how bad
that is? That's up and down the stairs once or twice. Like that's not like to the bathroom and back. Yeah. Like it's not.
It's like coming downstairs to get my lunch and going back upstairs to work. And then I'm like, that really embarrasses me for some reason. I don't know if that's a normal thing to embarrass about or not, but I'll be like, oh my gosh, I have not done anything today. Like that's so bad. And then obviously, like when I go from to work, whatever, like, you know, you hit your whatever 5,000 steps a day, whatever it is that you're trying to hit. But yeah, on my work from home days, I move sometimes 200 steps a day. And then I'm always like, that's so bad.
I still think 200 is better. I think I do like 150. I really don't think I try not to move at all, really. Yeah. Like first half of the morning, I'm still probably trying to, like, I'm sat up in bed, like doing all my work, being like, I'm still wake up.
Yeah. So, you know, I do think, yeah, like it is whatever works for you. And this is kind of what's working for me at the moment, but I'm also trying to figure it out. Like, you know, I've also kind of taken a break for the last 2 weeks from gym. Like, I think I just had quite a few like work commitments, and obviously it was Valentine's Day as well. So Alex and I did some Valentine's Day. So there was like a few things happening during the week, which happened to align with the days that I normally go to the gym. So I haven't been to the gym for like 2 weeks as well. So yeah, next week, starting Monday, I'm going to try like get back into it. Because that's also the thing is like, you kind of do get into these routines of balancing stuff, and you find like a good balance that works for you. And then as soon as you skip one day, it's so hard to get back into that balance.
Yeah. Suddenly the gym seems so daunting. Suddenly, like if you stop meal prepping, suddenly it's like, oh my God, it seems like so much effort to be doing 3 hours a day.
And it's like, even though I know I'm able to do the whole work, social, exercise thing, as soon as I don't do it, like I think it was like Thursday or Friday this week or whatever, that I was meant to go to the gym, or I'd said to myself I was going to go, but then I was like, I'm actually just so tired. Like as soon as I stop doing it, I get so much more tired. So I'm like, I'm so tired. Like, how did I ever have the energy to do this? You know,
your body shifts routine again, where it's like, oh no, this is sleep time now because you rested last week, so you want to rest this week, and that's how you usually do it.
So now my body's like, oh no, but we don't exercise.
Yeah.
So I have to be like, yeah, we do. We try.
Yeah, let's just get back into it. You definitely do. Get back.
So it is hard, and like, you know, when I was doing quite well in my routine, I was making like smoothies in the morning, so I was having like a healthy breakfast. And then as soon as I missed the one day of making my smoothies, I then just was like, fuck it, like can't be asked. I didn't do it yesterday, why do I need to do it today? And then I do think that like does kind of cascade into the rest of the day, whereas then I don't end up eating breakfast, so then like I have a little bit less energy, whatever. So then by the time the evening rolls around, that like those, I don't know, whatever protein that I would have had in the morning like hasn't sustained me all day. So by the time it's the evening, I'm just tired, and I'm like, I just want to go to bed. Whereas maybe if I did have that smoothie, I would have had like the little bit of extra calorie would have pushed me that little bit more to go to the gym, you know. So I do think it is quite hard, and if you really want to be that girl, that guy, whatever, you actually do have to be really strict with yourself. You have to be like, you're not missing a day.
There needs to be a regime, at least, I would say at least for a month. Like at least for a month, force yourself to be like, it's just 4 weeks, every week, kept to the same routine. By month 2, you'll be so used to doing it every week for 4 weeks, you'll be like, okay, I'll continue.
So then it becomes like a habit.
I think I don't know, I think I read it somewhere. It's like, if you do something straight for like 6 weeks, then it's like, that's a habit. But I do think, like, give yourself a month. I think you do it weekly enough. Like, to be fair, even after like the second week, you're like, okay, well, I've done it twice, like every other week now, so I can carry on doing this routine.
There's actually this girl that I follow on TikTok, and I can't for the life of me remember what her name is, because otherwise I would definitely add her at this point. But I think she has a lot of followers, so she probably doesn't need me to add her.
But if this sounds familiar, she didn't steal this idea.
This is from someone on TikTok. I'm not claiming this for myself, but I just can't remember her name. Anyway, she has like, I don't know if she's like, created like habit loops, and she's got like a book about it, and like a self-help thing or whatever going on, and it's actually really helpful, like if you and like interesting, because she also like explains the whole like brain side of habits and how they work. And so she is that like 5 to 9, you know, she's got like a morning routine, a bedtime routine, and all of this helps her to like be like super fit. Like she does all her gym, she does all her work, she does all her cleaning. So she does kind of have that like what seems like the perfect balance. And she also like shows the entirety of it, not just the one part of a day. But so in her TikTok, she always talks about like these habit loops and like how to create them and whatever. So I can't tell you what her name is. I can't even be like, go look it up, because that has actually helped. And like there was a lot of like, I did actually watch a lot of her videos, and she kind of says, you know, in order to start waking up earlier, go to bed 15 minutes earlier and wake up 15 minutes earlier for a month. And then after that, because you can't go from like waking up at 10 to waking up at 5. Like that's not going to work. You're going to hate it. You're going to feel worse. Your body's going to suffer way more.
It's the only one-off you do is when you go to the airport. Yeah. Like when I've got a flight, I will be up then. Okay, 100%. Yeah.
But like that's not the way to train your body. You're going to like really suffer through that. But if you go from waking up at 10 to waking up at 10:15, and then like that 15 minutes seems like a lot at first. But then once you've done that for a month, once you've woken up, and also you do kind of have to wake up and get up, so you can't hit snooze, because that in itself is creating a whole different habit loop. So you wake up at 9:45, you get up at 9:45, and you do that for a month. After a month, you're going to be like, this is so easy. Like what was I nervous about? What was like whatever. Then you go to 9:30, and then it's like you do 15 minutes until you're at your desired time, and then it becomes such a habit that you just naturally do it. Yeah. So she kind of talks about these like habit loops for like all parts of her life. And I do think like a lot of what she says is actually really helpful with like, you know, how, because she also explains how she wasn't always like this. And, you know, like, I mean, obviously I'm not going to tell you her whole life story, but like, so it is really helpful. But that is also something that I was thinking, you know, like, you know, it just takes that little bit extra every day. Yeah. And then, like you said, do it for a month, and then it'll be normal. Yeah. It'll be like every day.
And if you hate it after a month, you know that I never want to do this again, and not for me, and then that's okay too.
Yeah, you tried it and you gave it a good effort, and now you're like, oh, I'm done. I feel like I'm a bit better in the moment. So I think that's pretty much all we've got for you guys today. But you know, like obviously we'd love to hear your guys' routines, or if maybe you guys have some advice that you could give to us that we can share with everyone else on how you did break your like sleeping in habits, or how you started becoming a gym girly, like you know, give us some motivation.
Your journey to becoming a 5 to 9er, like I'd love to know how people actually like do it. Did you actually just like wake up at 5 and then just like sod it? And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wake up at 5 every day. That's what I'm gonna do. I mean, send tips. I mean, any advice on how I might love the gym? I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, that's quite my toxic personality, that I will read them and be like, that can never be me. But like, I'd appreciate any help I can get.
And like kind of just anything really, like, you know, maybe there's a specific part of the whole balancing, you know, work and social that you're struggling with, and maybe we can talk through those problems. But yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. Obviously, you know, leave your comments, send us DMs, however you want to contact us. And like,
if you want to be anonymous, I mean, if you want us to discuss
of course, like we won't say names.
If you don't want to be anonymous, even better, let us know. Let's spill your tea for you. Like we love doing that. And also, I know we tend to be quite like a serious quite pod. I feel like we've got first 2 episodes, we kind of gone like deep and been like deep and meaningful. But also we do love tea. So if you just want to like send us like honestly to chat shit, send us to chat shit. We will chat shit.
And like you know, obviously give us any inspiration for future episodes, like anything in particular that you as a freshly independent person in somewhere, it doesn't have to be London, but like obviously our experience is kind of limited to London, but you know, we'd still love to hear it, you know, the kind of stuff that maybe you've gone through or stuff you're going through. Maybe you'd wanted some advice, or you just want to let us know what's going on.
Or if you just want like a chat, like I said, like we're kind of hoping, I think our vision for us is we're going to be that podcast you listen to while you're just going for a walk, and it's like you're like listening to 2 friends just like napping on. Like if you want to join in that conversation, we'd love for you to. We hopefully, like future episodes, we want to get things set up so we can actually hear from you guys, whether that be DMs or whether that be like over the phone. Like we do want to hear from you guys, because the podcast, it's fun for us to do, but also it's kind of for you guys. We wish we kind of had someone to like, I guess, listen to the same thing, or like having gone through the same experiences. So this is 2 more friends that you've made, regardless of in your city or not. But if you are, fantastic, hit us up, let us know. And I suppose, cringy bit, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, please and thank you. And if you're listening on Spotify,
like us,
just give us a like. I don't know how it works.
Spread the word.
Like us, download, share us on Instagram. Like handles will be found in the bios. But I mean, what a lovely end to episode 2. We'll see you guys next week.